What's going on, everybody? Today we are hopping into the 2021 NBA playoffs. The only catch is that every game is sudden death. So not only is it the first team to score wins the game, but the first team to score actually wins the series and moves on to the next round. How I chose the teams, I took the top 8 teams from each conference, put them in the playoffs, and that's how this is going to work. So I'll just show you guys an example of how this is going to work by hopping into our first game here. So our first game is going to be Heat at Bucks. Again, it's a best of 1, and the first team to score is going to win the game. All right, so here we go. The tip-off in these games are going to be huge because whoever gets the ball first is probably going to end up winning this thing. I have to change the camera angle real quick there, but the Bucks win the tip-off. And once they score, they win the game. If they do score, Chris Middleton with the ball. Drew Holiday pulling up from 3, and that is money. The Bucks are going to defeat the Heat. And then what we're going to do is just end the quarter. I got a little mod running right now, and we're just going to end the quarters for the rest of the game. So the final score will be 3-0. Quarter number 2 starts, and we simply end it again. Quarter number 3. See you later. We have an assist of the game from our only highlight of the entire game. But finally, hopping into the fourth quarter, we're going to end it, and we have our final score, 3-0 for the Milwaukee Bucks. Check out the box score. Drew Holiday is our only player to score with 3 points, and the Miami Heat have been eliminated. Bucks move on to the second round, and we're going to go ahead and do this for the entire playoffs. So we got one game down. Let's get to the next one. It is going to be Knicks versus Celtics. Checking out the tip-off, we got Nerlens Noel versus Robert Williams. And the Celtics are going to win the tip-off. They have the advantage here. Let's see if they can score here, though. Jason Tatum cutting inside, and he gets the dunk. Celtics are the winners of this game, and the New York Knicks have been eliminated from the playoffs. Our next game, we got the Nuggets versus the Lakers. The cool thing about this format as well is that literally any team can win this. A team could just get lucky on the first possession and get a shot to go. So we could see some favorites fall pretty early, and the Lakers are going to get the tip off here. Also, I'm not sure if I mentioned this, but injuries are off, so anybody that injured is playing. Dennis Schroeder putting up a tough layup, and that is going to be no good. I believe that's the first time a team's won the tip-off and missed. Jamal Murray, the mid-range shot is money, and the Nuggets with the huge upset over the Lakers. Lakers going home in round number 1. Next up, we got the Trailblazers versus the Clippers. Cantor versus Ibaka on the tip-off here, and Enes Kanter is going to win it. Trailblazers with the ball are going to start it off with... Are they going to start off giving it to Damian Lillard? For some reason, CJ McCollum not in the game, even though I have injuries off. So that's a little odd. Lillard with the ball here, though, inside. The tough layup is good to go, and the Trailblazers with the upset over the Clippers. Clippers going home in round number 1. Hopping into our next game, we got the Hornets versus the Nets. Andre Jordan versus Cody Zeller with this tip-off. And DeAndre Jordan going to win this thing. So Nets with the ball here. They got a pretty stacked starting lineup. It's going to be tough for the Hornets to stop them, but it's only one possession. Joe Harris to the net for the dunk, and the Brooklyn Nets are going to defeat the Charlotte Hornets. Charlotte Hornets are going home. I would have liked to see LaMelo Ball win Finals MVP, but it is what it is. Our next games, we have the Raptors versus the 76ers. Raptors are my favorite team, so I'm hoping they can get the W here, but the 76ers win the tip-off. Ben Simmons running point right now. It's going to be hard to stop these guys in one possession. Joel Embiid inside. He misses the layup. That was so close to going in. Kyle Lowry, the mid-range shot, and that is money. The Raptors defeat the Philadelphia 76ers, and they're moving on to the second round. Our next matchup, we have the Spurs and the Suns facing off. We got Aldridge versus DeAndre Ayton on the tip-off. Aldridge a little washed up, so I don't know if he has a chance at winning this, and then he goes ahead and does it. I eat my words right away. All right, so Spurs starting with the ball, the midi from DeMar DeRozan. Why did I pronounce his name like that? I don't know why I said it like that, but the Spurs are our champs here. Suns going home You hate to see it. I would have liked to see the Suns go far in this, but they got to win that tip-off. And we are hopping into our final game of the first round. We got the first-seeded Utah Jazz versus the Dallas Mavericks. All right, so this should be an interesting tip-off. We got two very tall men right here with Porzingis and Gobert. And Gobert just going to barely win this one. When we had three All-Stars on this Utah Jazz team with Conley, Mitchell, and Gobert. Donovan Mitchell with the ball, and he drains the shot for the W. I'm sorry, Bobathan, but your Mavericks are gone. All right, so we are finally moving on to the second round. This video is probably pretty short at this point, but for me, that actually took forever despite the games being so short. But in the second round, we got the Jazz versus the Blazers, the Nuggets versus the Spurs, the Celtics versus the Raptors, and the Nets versus the Bucks. A lot of upsets in the Western Conference, but in the East, we had all the top four seeds except for the 76ers move on to the second round. But starting off in the second round, we got the Spurs versus the Nuggets. And I think there's something wrong with injuries. I turned off injuries, but players are still getting injuries. It makes no sense. So Nuggets got pretty lucky in the first round. They didn't win the tip-off, but still won the game. Let's see if they can win a tip-off here, but it's going to be LaMarcus Aldridge getting that one. Going to give the ball to DeRozan again. He hit the shot in the first round. Let's see if he does it again. ISOing on Nikola Jokic right now. The midi is good to go. DeRozan going off right now. 2 game winners already. And the Spurs are going to be advancing to the Western Conference Finals. Nuggets are going home. For our next game, we got the Bucks versus the Nets. This could be a pretty interesting series if it was in real life, if we had a full 7-game series with normal games. But even with our sudden death, Nets definitely still have the advantage. Tip-off, and DeAndre Jordan is going to win it. He is 2 for 2 so far. Giving the ball to James Harden this time. DeAndre Jordan in the post to James Harden, and it is stolen. The Bucks get the ball. Giannis, he had a little bit of a fast break, slowed down, and he draws the foul. This could be our first game to be won on free throws, and it is going to happen. Giannis hits the free throw, so we're going to go ahead and try to finish the quarter here, but he does have to take both his shots. He makes them both anyways, and the Bucks are going to move on to the Eastern Conference Finals, and probably the favorite to win this tournament, the Nets, are going to be out. For our next game, we got the Trailblazers versus the Jazz. Cantor versus Gobert on the tip-off. Who is going to get it? It is going to be Cantor with another tip-off win. Trailblazers with the ball. Let's see if it's Dame time again. Still no CJ for some reason, except the injuries are broken. But Lillard out to Carmelo from 3. And it is no good. Jazz grab the board. A huge stop for them right there. Joe Ingles with the ball now. Down to Royce O'Neal. And he draws the foul. Going to the line. That's going to be 2 games in a row. Could be ended on the free throws. And he hits the first free throw. So that is going to be game right there. The Utah Jazz are going to defeat the Portland Trailblazers, winning 1-0. That could quite possibly be the lowest score of this tournament. And now hopping into our final game of the first round, we got the Celtics versus the Raptors. All right, Baines, I'm going to need something big from you here. I need you to do something for once on the Raptors and win a tip-off. Not going to happen. Celtics win this one. And they're going to give the ball to Jason Tatum. What are they going to do here? Maybe get a screen. Maybe just stand here a little longer. Jaylen Brown with the ball, driving, and the layup is good to go. Celtics are going to defeat the Toronto Raptors and move on to the Eastern Conference Finals. So moving on to the conference finals now. In the West, we got the Jazz versus the Spurs, and in the East, we got the Bucks versus the Celtics. We're going to be starting this thing off with the Celtics versus the Bucks. So in the last round, the Bucks actually lost the tip-off, but still won the game. But this time, they are going to go ahead and win it. See who they end up giving the ball to. For some reason, Giannis is nowhere to be seen in the play. There we go, in the post, and he hits the tough layup. The Bucks are moving on to the NBA Finals. Celtics are going home. Moving over to the Western Conference now. Of course, we got the Spurs versus the Jazz. Gobert versus Aldridge in the tip-off. Aldridge has not lost a tip-off so far, but he is this time. Gobert going to get this thing. Got Royce O'Neal with the ball. I believe he's the one that scored for them last round. But this time, Donovan Mitchell inside and one. Donovan Mitchell with a huge shot right there. I mean, he also gets to add some points on the board with this free throw. We've actually only had a few games be won 3-0. I believe it might only be one, but this is our first one with an and one. But hopping into the NBA Finals now, we got the Jazz versus the Bucks. Again, it's going to be the same as the rest. One game, first one to score wins. Leave your comment down below who you think is going to win. Let's hop right into this, though. This is the biggest tip-off of either of these players' whole careers. And Rudy Gobert is going to win it. Got to change that camera angle real quick. Mike Conley with the ball. Let's see what they're going to run here. They got one possession to win this. If they miss, Bucks are probably going to take the W. Mike Conley through the legs. Through the legs again. Time running it down. Donovan Mitchell going to have to put up the mid-range shot. It is no good. And Giannis with the board. The Bucks can win it all here now. Great defensive possession. Down to Drew Holiday. I think he's just going to slow it down here for a second. I'd recommend him giving the ball to Giannis. No, he's going to pop the three. And it's no good. It is no good. Donovan Mitchell with the ball now. The Jazz with another chance. And a big block from Giannis. I think this is our longest game so far. Chris Middleton hits the layup. And the Milwaukee Bucks are our NBA champions. That was by far our most possession so far. Some great defense from both teams. I mean, they are both two great defensive teams. But let's see who gets Finals MVP here, because it was Chris Middleton with the only bucket on the team. Some guys had some defensive stops. Like Giannis had a block. I think he had a rebound. So it'll be interesting to see who they give it to, Giannis or Chris Middleton. The easiest NBA championship any team is going to get, just in terms of work, because they did not have to do much to get here. They just had to hit like 4 shots. They had one shot around, 4 shots in total to win the NBA championship. I mean, this was super fun to do. It was kind of funny. It'd be crazy if this were a thing in real life. There's the highlight of the game for Chris Middleton holding up the trophy. Who's going to get Finals MVP? It still goes to Giannis. Despite him not scoring a single time in the finals, still gets that Finals MVP. These stats are hilarious. He had 11 minutes per game, apparently. I don't know how that happened. It should have been just 1 minute, pretty much. Points per game, 0. 0 offensive rebounds per game. He had 1 rebound per game, 0 assists, 0 steals, 1 block per game, 0 turnovers, 0 field goal percentage, and 0 3-point percentage. But he still somehow manages to get Finals MVP, and the Bucks are our champs. I want to go ahead here and check out these playoff stats, though. Let's see the league leaders. Somehow DeRozan averaged 1.3 points per game. How is that? Did he hit a 3 or something? That's a little confusing. Same with Donovan Mitchell. Giannis had 1 point per game. Doesn't make sense. It should be lower than that. Some of these stats might be a little mixed up. Unless, did Giannis score in 2 of the rounds? I thought he only scored in 1 of them. But he might have scored in 2 of the rounds. But DeRozan leads for points per game. Rebounds per game, we had a few players up here with 0.5. Assists per game, again, a few players up here. Steals, Dante DiVincenzo with the only steal in the playoffs. Field goal percentage, 3-point percentage is not available at all. But I guess if we come down here to total points, Donovan Mitchell with the most total points in the playoffs with 5 points. Giannis had 4. DeRozan had 4. Drew Holiday had 3. And Royce O'Neal was our lowest scorer that actually scored with 1 point. Nobody had more than 1 rebound. Dante DiVincenzo with 2 assists. He also had a steal. I mean, maybe Dante DiVincenzo should have won Finals MVP. But that's going to be it for this video. If you guys like to see mods, I'd definitely subscribe to the channel. Love uploading these types of videos. And of course, smash that like button. This has been your boy Smequle, and I'll see you next time. Peace.
Never at ease, I don't know a limit. Chasing a dream, I don't know what sleepers. I got a queen, she lit me to evening. She ripe like a peach and she snapped me the snippet. And well overdue for that link up in person. Text me to fall through its murder, she wrote it. Still with courage, you're doing a service. Pull up to the crib, I'm equipped with the brush strokes. Cut throat from the low, when no